The man simply raised his arm gently. The 2-meter-thick Ministry of Defense titanium alloy steel door was penetrated and exploded. Even the legendary diamond wall outside, known to withstand missile strikes, was blasted to pieces with nothing left. His figure is as terrifying as the nine hells, making people fearful. Light footsteps falling gently.
Émitting a formidable aura.
The soldier's body lying in front of the corridor, all highlighting my strength. The look in my eyes that oversees everything is a warning to the living humans to brace for destruction. And my birth is to eliminate the existence of humans. But before this, I have been reincarnating on this earth for tens of thousands of years. Sometimes it's a cicada in a small river. Sometimes it's just a small ant in a large army of ants. It even reincarnated as an erupting volcano. And then I went through tens of thousands of deaths and rebirths like this. Every rebirth, I always carry the memories of countless reincarnations from past lives. Among them, I have died countless times, all because of human greed. This also makes me in the billions of years. Only the intense hostility towards humans. Sometimes I have been thinking, why have I experienced such rebirth and death? Until this last time, I unexpectedly reincarnated as a human. I finally understand why I became a human. Because my mission is to become human and eradicate humans. When I saw my mother for the first time, I understood. No matter what, I cannot let go of my hatred towards humans. But in this life, my mother has caused a slight change in my view of humans. He tells me, I love you, every day before going to bed. Although I don't understand these 3 words, but I don't dislike it. Lifted his hand until I was 6 years old. It wasn't until this life was reborn that I gradually realized the difference. I seem to have the ability to evolve and be reborn. I just need to think about it. I can evolve the speed ability of a cheetah. I originally planned to eliminate humans, but my mother changed that. She will be extremely flustered because of my wandering, repeatedly saying I love you. At that time, all I remembered was a thought in my heart. It's also nice to stay by my mom's side forever. On some day in the future, Mom reached out her hand and said to me, let Mom protect you. At this moment, although I don't understand what protection is, but I want to protect my mother, so I eventually let go of human hatred. But what I didn't know is, someone has already set their sights on my abilities. That day, my mother couldn't set up her stall due to a fever. So, at the age of just 6, I alone carried the goods to the stall and started as a little boss. However, today's stall had some unexpected visitors. He asked me to go with them. Before I could react, they had already pushed me towards the grill. I gave him a stern look. This grill posed no threat to me. Let's go with them once. But the other party is a bit relentless. Also talking about my mother at home. It may be a conspiracy of an enemy country. And he has sent his men to my house to arrest people. If my mother resists, just shoot her immediately. I am extremely angry when I hear this. The ability of the Tyrannosaurus Rex has begun to evolve on his body. This middle-aged police officer, seeing my changes, he couldn't help but be stunned. Commanded his men, must stay away from this child. Otherwise you will be in danger. Everyone was confused. What can a child do to them? What kind of threat does it pose? Click. I stomped heavily on the ground. Directly cracked the ground. Instantly I used the power of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Break free from the roasted hand. And there have been many collapses on this earth. The captain chuckled. It seems that you finally couldn't resist using your ability. With a swish, the ability I evolved as a cheetah disappeared instantly in place. I must hurry back to my mother's side as soon as possible. Otherwise, she will be in danger. Several police officers watched as I left, and they did not catch up. The captain said the kid is a monster. Musti. It was also the captain's decision. That brought irreversible disaster to this world. I rushed back home without stopping. What makes me angry? That's my mother, being surrounded and beaten by several men. Seeing this scene, my last trace of reason was completely swallowed by anger. Kabaisheng, I have evolved the ability of an eagle on my hand. Just a few seconds. I will kill all of them in just a few seconds. If anyone dares to touch my mother, I will make them die here. But my mother called me gently. Let me leave here quickly. At that moment, I understood one thing, that I had caused a great disaster. The captain, who arrived late, burst into laughter when he saw this scene. The scene before him is exactly what he wanted to see. He turned around and said to his men, "Shoot at the boy and his mother together, because he is a monster. Then his mother must be a monster too." I clenched my fists when I heard his words. Humans are really despicable as always. Just at this moment, Mother stood in front of me without hesitation. He shouted at those people, "It's all me. It's not my kids. You should arrest me." The mother was there, making incoherent strokes, asking them to spare my life and let me go. Several officials looked at her as if she were a fool. How could a weak woman have killed his dozen subordinates? And his target was originally me. Seeing my mother in this state made my heart ache. Is this the feeling of heartache? This moment, I, who haven't shed tears for billions of years, shed tears. My mother actually sacrificed herself to protect me. The captain acted without hesitation, raised the gun in his hand and aimed at my mother. The sound of a gunshot. I instantly appeared in front of my mother, blocked the fatal bullet. The captain chuckled. He seemed to have found my weakness. That weakness is my mother. So the captain ordered everyone under him. All pulled out their guns and aimed at the woman in front of them. In the instant when the bullet struck, I evolved the most powerful ability of perception. A bang. Caught the bullet flying like a mother with one hand. Finally, I evolved the ability of a pangolin. Hardened the surface layer of my body skin. Let those bullets unable to harm my body, causing serious injuries. After a round of shooting, even several senior officers were stunned. This guy is simply a monster, although my body is covered in scars, but still not falling down. The officer was a bit flustered when he saw this scene. Then he ordered his subordinates to continue shooting. Several subordinates reluctantly obeyed the order. Picking up, they also felt fear towards the child in front of them. At this moment, my anger reached its peak. Prepare to evolve the ability to block this second wave of attacks. I was thinking in my heart to evolve the speed of the cheetah immediately after this wave of bullets ends, and tear them all apart with the explosive power of the dinosaur. Just 1 second before I activate my ability. Just 1 second before I activate my ability. A delicate hand blocked in front of me. To my surprise, it was my mother's figure when I looked up. She doesn't want to see her child be hurt in any way. Mom's voice trembled. Listen to me. Run away as fast as you can in a moment. The result is no suspense. Dozens of bullets hit Mother's body. The moment Mother fell down, my mind is a blank. Mom was almost trying her best. Put her hand on my face. Mom finally said to me, no matter what means. Slightly open, no matter what way. Always live well. I helplessly watched my mother's body. Clearly none of this has anything to do with her. But she died because of me. I slowly stood up and stared at the person opposite. The wounds that were just inflicted on me have all been healed using the power of sea cucumber. When he saw my terrifying face, even the captain was surprised in his heart, speculated in his heart about this guy. The next move must be a deadly blow. But what I didn't expect is that I turned and fled from here, because my mother told me before. No matter what means or methods are used, one must survive. I am extremely resentful of my own weakness, but I really don't have the ability now to be able to beat the gun in the opponent's hand. A bounce came to the top of the house with a swipe. Before leaving, I gave them a fierce glance. You guys remember the human race for me. In English language, it generates fear in the heart of the team leader at first sight. Then he shouted, "Everyone must catch him. If we can't catch him now, He will definitely come back to retaliate against us. Boosh. I left here with a jump. I quickly ran to a field of rapeseed flowers. My mother and I were here before. We promised to protect each other. But now there is only me left alone. I suddenly turned around and looked at the few people chasing me. A decision had already been made in my heart. The captain kept shouting for you to keep running. Why aren't you running now? Cover my face with both hands, saying some strange things. Why make me experience endless cycles? And why turn me into a human? And all of this finally has an answer. To eliminate your existence, human. My gibberish. Leave the captain bewildered. What on earth is this kid saying? Xyla. My fists burst out with very powerful energy. Now I have made a decision. Due to the great destruction you humans have caused to this world, I have decided to become a divine punishment to wipe out you humans. Boom. My figure collided directly with their armored vehicle. Just 2.5 minutes. They were doomed by this explosion. The captain's figure was firmly pressed under a large rock. Even when he's about to die, he's cursing me. Monsters like me must die. I didn't refute his words either. You're right. People like me should indeed die here. But you have failed. Kabang. My hand formed a dragon claw. As the cost of your failure, I will give you the punishment of death. Poof. In the terrified gaze of the captain, I smashed his head. Then I buried my mother's body in this flower field, left here alone. I don't know how long has passed. My body has grown into the appearance of a teenager. Now I am at the peak of my strength. In these more than 10 years, I have exerted my evolutionary ability to the fullest. Just gently press my palm to the ground. I can feel the water and plants of this land, all the dynamics of growth and sounds. Not only that, I will also merge the power of evolution, triggering a new ability. I am now the only invincible existence in the world. It's time to eliminate humans. As long as I continue to sense the earth and activate the power of earthquakes, I can shake all the humans on this earth to death. But to commemorate my mother, I decided to walk around this world, march for a week to see human behavior over the years. At this point, I was walking on a road. Before this, the road was a sea of flowers. But here, due to human behavior, suffered very serious damage. Thinking of this, I have increased hatred for humans again. Just destroy it directly. Just then, a car appeared behind me. I instantly evolved the power of nature. This car is an existence I have never seen before. So I must go all out in unknown species. Click. My ability directly surrounds the road. The creaking sound of the shock. The woman in the car, tightly gripping the steering wheel in reverse, trying to avoid my body. At the same time, a huge stone fell from above. A huge stone dropped down. When I saw the person in the car clearly, I couldn't help but stare in disbelief. The woman in the car looks exactly like my mom. This made me suspect whether my mom was reborn. A swoosh sound. My figure moved quickly. I shattered the falling rocks on the mountain with one palm. The woman was trembling with fear. She was also puzzled why there was a person on the road. Then when I opened my eyes again, I found my head sticking out of his windshield. The girl was startled, screaming frantically. Just then, a stone fell from the mountain again, and I was watching her all the time, and didn't notice the stone on the mountain. With a bang, it hit my head. I only felt a sharp pain in the back of my head and almost lost consciousness. But I feel very strange. Can evolve involuntarily. Why was I hit by a stone again? It wasn't until I saw that woman that I understood everything. Turns out that she looks so much like my mother that caused my distraction. The woman kept asking if you were okay. Do you want me to take you to the hospital? When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a strange environment, and my hair had been cut off. I find it strange that I can't remember anything. I only remember a vague figure constantly appearing in my mind. Or maybe it's because my injuries are severe and I need surgery immediately. Then they asked for my name. A voice keeps echoing in my mind. English language, English language, English language, English language, English language. 3 months later, she reported the situation to the police, but the result was that the person could not be found at all. The chief smiled awkwardly. In this situation now, he may be an illegal immigrant. If there is no guardian, he may be detained. Finally, she reluctantly became my guardian. She is on the temporary guardian's list. His name, Ali Jabin, or his legal representative is written on it. Ali let out a sigh. It looks like I'll have to take care of this little brother for a while. Then she took a step towards me and said, I am 34 years old this year. The age I reported to you is 24 years old. So I am older than you. But I responded jokingly, didn't you say the younger, the better? What can you do if you are so much older than me? This made Ali stunned. Little one. He knew he couldn't argue with me, so he let me call him sister. Make sure to use the polite phrases he taught me. Guess the age, but what neither of us knows is. My age is probably 35 billion years old. Ali is preparing to help me find a job before the memory is retrieved. Just stay in their company dormitory. Suddenly I grabbed Ali's hand. This is actually my instinctive reaction. I don't know why either. Ali suddenly pulled his hand away. Warn me if I ever touch his hand again. I'll twist his head off and kick it like a ball. But she didn't expect me to suddenly cry. The feeling of holding hands just reminded me of something. But I just can't remember what it was. Just remember a scene of a sea of flowers vaguely. Finally, I came to Ali's home. There is a short-haired friend in Ali's house. She was very dissatisfied with my arrival. So she glared at me fiercely. I feel uncomfortable seeing her staring at me. So I asked her why she was staring at me. This made her best friend look confused. What's the deal with this guy? Faced with my strangeness, she didn't know what to say. So I had to ask Ali to move out. Ali turned his head and refused the request of his girlfriend. After all, this guy is frustrated because of himself. So she has a reason to take care of him. Smiling, always feeling warm. This makes my best friend suspect that Ali must be in love. I told my best friend not to talk nonsense, because I have no romantic feelings for this little brat. I just feel that he won't harm us. It doesn't matter to live here. My best friend didn't try to stop me when she saw the situation. Anyway, there is a room upstairs in the coffee shop. Let him stay there temporarily. At this moment, the little dog raised by Ali at home suddenly ran towards me, just like seeing a fellow being happy. And when the child strokes the dog's head, the evolutionary ability in my hands was automatically activated. In that instant, I felt the life energy of the dog constantly pouring into my body, not waiting for me to figure out what's going on. Suddenly I feel a wave of nausea in my stomach. This time a large truck happened to be driving in front of us. The once gentle little dog now bared its teeth. A dog's sense of smell is thousands of times more sensitive than that of humans. It and I both smelled the strong foul odor coming from the box at the same time. It had a very strong foul smell. Even though I had lost my memory, I can also feel the life form in the car. The emotion emitting a signal is too strong. And I can clearly feel that species has a very strong hostility towards humans. There is also a feeling that I seem to be of the same kind as it. The species is the still virus. Still is a creature born in the ocean. It has survived in the ocean for millions of years, due to the excessive destruction of the Earth by humans. So the consciousness of the Earth is in a self-protective state, produced an antibody autonomously. When the Earth's environment is destroyed by humans, this antibody will appear to eliminate humans. And humans have made a suicidal decision now. They actually went deep into the ocean. Bring this virus up for research. The terrifying thing about this virus is that it can't be killed. And it also has the ability to control parasitism. What everyone doesn't know now is, I have already established a subtle connection with this virus. There are now two beings on Earth with the same goal. One is being held captive by humans, while the other has lost its memory and forgotten itself. But the day will come when the two of us will be connected in some way. By that time, it will give this world. What kind of results it will bring, no one knows. Tian Ali took me to the bar and had a little drink. But I just don't understand. Why drink something so hard to swallow? Ari gulped down the drink in the cup. She asked me to drink it like he did. Only when drunk can one find their true self. Pazzo left the small bar. Pazzo, we find ourselves all drunk. I feel like I'm walking on air right now. I must have been fooled by Ali today. After drinking, there is no comfortable feeling at all. I even feel like the world is spinning. Ali patted my shoulder. That's the kind of ethereal feeling I want. Then we walked back to the coffee shop along the road together. Ali suddenly noticed at this moment. There was a large pile of fireflies on the side of the road. Ali couldn't move his feet as he watched the fireflies. It was the first time he had seen so many beautiful fireflies. I saw Ali so happy and asked her a question. Do you really like this fluorescence? Seeing Ali's response, I like it. This moment, I don't feel the ability to evolve into light. In an instant, my body also emitted a light brighter than fireflies. I asked Ali, do you also like me now? I ignored Ali's horror, still constantly saying if you like. I can shine for you every day. Ali was startled by me. He has never seen anyone as strange as me. Due to my drunkenness, I mistook Ali's horror for joy. I never expected that turning into light would make Ali so happy. The next moment, Ali was so scared by me that he turned around and ran away. He even said he saw a monster. This makes me shake my expression. Doesn't he like light? Why is he trying to escape now? So Ali chased me while I was running. I told her not to run. But Ali seems to be really scared by my appearance. But what she didn't notice was that she had already run to the edge of the road. At that moment, Ali only had one thought in her heart, that she might really be done for. The black stripes of the bar. But its weight. Longer but its weight. At 0 kilometers per hour. Boosh. My figure sprinted forward as fast as lightning. A possession sprint passed over Ari falling down. When I turned my head in the air and said to him, you can rest assured. With me here, I won't let you get hurt. With a bang, my figure landed first. Then I suddenly stood up, caught Ari falling down. Under this deserted expressway, our two figures seemed to create a kind of awkward yet warm feeling. I'm panting for breath. I was almost scared to death by that scene just now. It's good that you're okay. Tears are streaming down Ali's face at the moment. She was also shocked by the scene I just had. Non-human operations are scared. The next day, Ali went to work with panda eyes. She hasn't come to terms with what happened last night. And her job this time is research on regenerative biosteel. Researchers poured sulfuric acid into the jar, explaining that even the organisms poured into sulfuric acid will not be killed, while the organisms inside will be stimulated after coming into contact with this corrosive acid. And his excitement can be conveyed to the other individuals split out. This incredible scene. Let us, who are present, be extremely shocked. I can't imagine this world. A species with such tenacious vitality. I looked at the creature in front of me that was trembling nonstop. Always feel a hint of unease. Suddenly, he remembered me in his mind. Then he found the research professor. Asked him if humans will glow. This left the professor stunned. How could humans glow? And even glow like fireflies? Ali did not give up. There are still people in this world. Does such a person really exist? But the result she got was, if such a person really exists, then he is not human. Instead, they are the subject of their research. This made Ali sweat a little. It seems that we still can't talk about what happened to Zine. After returning to the coffee shop, Ali slapped the table, asking me what exactly happened yesterday. Why does my body glow? I'm not sure about that. Arkin definitely doesn't believe it. So he asked me what else I could do besides this. Carefully thought about it. Images flashed through my mind suddenly. Although I didn't recover my memory, but I gave her a clear answer. To exterminate humanity. This left Ari in a daze. It seems like my expression is not joking. Suddenly I realized. What nonsense was I talking just now? Why do I want to destroy humanity? Ali is puzzled by my series of actions. Now she is becoming more and more curious. By nightfall, lying in bed, Ali thought of what I said during the day about exterminating humans. This made Ali suspect that I had amnesia. Certainly something must have happened. Otherwise, he wouldn't have blurted out and uttered words to exterminate humanity. So she made a decision to prepare to draw a vial of my blood, analyze it in the research institute. The next day, he handed the blood sample to his colleague, asked him to help analyze the substances in this blood. But the results were somewhat unexpected for him, because the blood sample was just from an ordinary person. Alihaha left here with a smile. Actually, I'm just teasing you because I'm bored. But what I didn't know was this blood will bring me what kind of disaster, since the investigation results are out. Let Ollie believe me. Just an ordinary human. At this time, Ollie still doesn't know this blood will bring him a life crisis. This time, Ollie carries my blood, passed by the entrance of Steele Research. Steele kept wriggling after smelling my blood. He was very eager to get my blood. He kept carving inside the jar, frantically shaking, trying to break free, struggling constantly. Steele is finally about to crash onto the ground, while the researchers in front of him can only watch helplessly as it descends. His heart sank, feeling that things were not looking good. I always feel that something bad is going to happen. A sharp sound. At this moment, I feel that there is a very terrifying energy is being released. This makes me feel fear, because this force seems even stronger than me. I see the direction that Ari is working on. That force comes from there. It looks like Ari might be in danger. Ari's best friend noticed my abnormality. What's up with me? Is there something uncomfortable here? And I just said lightly, I'm afraid I have to go out for a while. You just stay here and watch the store. At the first moment of freedom, Steele immediately parasitized the researchers on site. Then he followed the researcher's blood and invaded his brain all the way. The assistant behind him was stunned. A deafening sound. The possessed person, Steer, immediately rushed out of the room. His target was very clear. That is the blood in Ali's hand. Just as Steele was about to touch Ari's body, both hands tightly clasped Steele's face and even crushed his glasses. The next moment, my figure quickly approached, pushed Steele's body out. I didn't even look back, opened my mouth and told Ari to leave quickly. With a loud bang, my big hand pushed Steele's body, firmly pressed to the ground. Still subdued by me, I quickly turned to check Ari's body. The little assistant just looked at himself. The scratched wound made a sound of doubt. He was just in the previous job, was quietly scratched by Steele. I stared at the little assistant just now. Always feel something unusual about him. The little assistant was stared at by me and felt hairy. He cursed and then left here. After the matter was resolved, I said to Ollie, why don't you resign from here? I feel it's particularly dangerous here, especially the person who just passed by us. There is something in his body that I don't know why. There is a force that makes my heart palpitate. Ollie followed my gaze and looked over. Feels like that person is not just a normal person. Where did I say that abnormal appearance? Arlene didn't listen to me at all when I saw her. I directly grabbed his hand and was about to take him away, but Arlene quickly pulled away my hand. Because my previous action hurt him, Arlene was somewhat puzzled. He doesn't know what dangers may exist in the research institute. In her opinion, the most dangerous thing seems to be me. His words made me feel somewhat embarrassed. I also don't know how to explain the dangers here. I asked Ollie to believe in me no matter what this time. 2.5 minutes. Ollie sat in the car and called the research institute for Ren. He said he was feeling a little unwell today on the phone. She went back first. After making the call, He picked up my test report. From the results, my body. There is not much difference from ordinary people. But the results of this aspect. On the contrary, it is very different from ordinary people, especially the sensory aspect, such as the inability I mentioned earlier, the danger that cannot be explained in words. And Ali finally looked at the report. Only then did he believe my intuition to skip work. My sensory index is unusually high. It even made him doubt if I am human. He also asked me a question, whether I like him or not. I definitively answered that I like him. I didn't say much else. Ali stared at my eyes intently, asked me where the others are, and my answer to him is that I don't like it. When I said this sentence, Arlie added another sentence. You not only dislike others, you also hate them very much. Want to eliminate them, right? Research Institute. The assistant in the office was a little sleepy. At this moment, a bug flew and landed on his neck. The mosquito pierced its mouth. It sucked a bellyful of blood from his neck. With a slap, the assistant felt a little itchy on the neck. So he slapped over. Then the mosquito flew away before landing on his palm. Flew away from the neck. By now, the mosquito had parasitized steel cells. Became a new steel parasite. Then the two of us stopped the car on this road. Ari wants to know more about my past. He guessed before my amnesia. Definitely experienced something. I'm not sure about his guess either, because I am a frustrated person. But one thing has been bothering Ollie for a long time. She happened to ask it here today. That is, I clearly lost my memory. Why can you like him but hate everyone else? I didn't directly answer his question. Instead, I took him to a place. Then the two of us stood by the seaside. I raised my hand and placed it in front of my eyes. In the next moment, I clenched my fist. It felt like my body was preparing to pull back. That's when Ollie noticed the fish in the sea gathering. They all left the place where we were standing together. My footsteps landed heavily on the ground. Began to evolve the abilities of the sea. The next moment in front of us, a spherical body of seawater emerged. This made Ali's gaze transition from incredulity at the beginning. Gradually, his expression turned incredulous, because in front of him appeared a huge waterspout. I told Ali not to be too surprised. These are just some basic operations. I turned my head and looked at her, asked him if he wanted to sit up and take a look. Ali's eyes were a bit vacant. He hadn't understood what I had just said. Then I pulled him over with one hand. The huge waves just formed. I asked Ali to relax a little. Otherwise, your body will be very stiff. Then I can't control the direction well. I keep soothing Ali's mindset. Gradually his movements also began to slow down. Spoke. You are afraid because you want to resist. But now that I am here, you don't have to be afraid. The land on the earth and the seawater in the ocean now. It's all under my control. I reach my hand forward. As long as I want to mobilize their abilities, I immediately make my body homogenize. I encourage Ali to boldly open his eyes, looking at the beautiful scenery ahead. It would be a great pity to miss it. After seeing the scene ahead, Ari's pupils couldn't help but widen, because in front of us appeared a magnificent sunset glow in a prosperous world. I chuckled. You should feel much better after seeing this beautiful scenery. At this moment, Ali saw the beautiful scenery ahead. Couldn't help but start to forget the fear. He slowly began to enjoy the joy brought to him by this nature. His voice kept echoing in the sea. Go to his work, go to his troubles. Get lost, all of you. 8. I couldn't help but smile when I saw Ali like this now. That's why I like him. If possible, I hope I can be with Ali every day forever. But fate destined the three of us, unable to enjoy the world so calmly. Why do I say it's three people? Because the still virus has fully matured, slowly expanding the world. The controlled humans already have an idea. That's having such amazing abilities on your own. definitely need to do something in this world. And the fate of this world. Just a thought away in front of this bespectacled person. Because there are two files on his desktop. File A is to save humanity. File B is to destroy humanity. However, his choice is to destroy humanity. What he needs to do now is to parasitize more human species. News flash. Steele's ability A accumulates new policies in the country. The news bulletin gave this man a lot of power. The news bulletin wants whoever to die, then they must die. This has led to the deaths of many rulers in the world. Dozens of them died overnight. And his purpose in doing so is to make humanity extinct, make this world a better place. At this moment he felt himself is the divinity bestowed by God. Now he is invincible, just as he was in a fantasy. A voice interrupted him. My figure suddenly appeared in front of him, said, "Finally found you." Feeling of unease. I told him not to pretend. The recent events must have been caused by you. Before he responds, the man's body suddenly started coughing violently. After a moment, he acted as if nothing had happened, standing in front of me as usual. At this moment, he seemed to have changed completely. Now that you've found me, what are you going to do? When I was at home before, suddenly felt danger approaching Ali. I punched and shattered that dangerous aura. Open it and it turns out to be a mosquito. So I plan to destroy him like that mosquito. The man spoke slowly. You can feel my presence. Can also feel your presence. Still, he understands one thing. That is, although I am just a human appearance, but our goals are the same. So he wonders why I want to stop him. A loud noise. My body erupted with very strong lightning energy. My reason is very simple. That is because you posed a threat to Ali. And I happen to be the one to protect Ali. After seeing my explosive power, Steele was stunned. My power is indeed very strong. Steele was in the study room at that time. He didn't attack me because he was still weak. He is not my opponent at all. But now it's different. After these few days of parasitism, his strength has become stronger. His fist clenched heavily. Instantly, all the humans parasitized by him rushed in, rushing towards my direction. But I am not afraid of those parasitized humans at all. They can't do anything to me at all. Searched for my figure, quickly sprinted and grabbed Steele's face. This clearly stunned Steele for a moment. I didn't even see when I moved. And I also guessed Steele's ability. It should be through parasitic control of organisms. But what does that matter? My weapon is nature. He is not even in the same league. With a swoosh, I heavily threw Steele's body flying out. His most fatal mistake is touching Ali touched my sore spot. If he lays a hand on humans,